Okay, so here's my service manual for the Odyssey 2006, and I'm going to show you guys what they're suggesting on the removal of the fan. So here's radiator and AC condenser fan replacement. You go through there. It's talking about removing the front grille. We'll come back to that in a second. But then it says here, remove the engine wire and harness connection A from the battery base. They want you to remove all this. And then obviously there's some connections that you got to make there. Disconnect the hood switch connector. They definitely want you to remove that. If you have this in front of the van there, this thing is usually right behind the hood latch. And then here, if you let me see if I can get this to get it. So now it says remove bolt C, loosen the bolts. D, securing the AC condenser fan and shroud. Then remove the AC condenser fan shroud assembly. E, from the battery side. Well, yeah, that is not all one assembly. They're both separate. Okay, so yeah, that's kind of crazy, but we're going to show you how to do it without removing the battery. All right, so I know I didn't show this on the video, but you got to remove the front grille before to be able to get to the condenser fan. And so here's this top. It's a piece of plastic, and you got to remove all these clips up there. And they're showing you how to do it. You can either use some screwdrivers on two sides of the clip, but you also have to remove this front grill. And so here it is over here. And there are three down here, one there, and one there. And those you have to reach in, and you got to be careful when you're removing that, especially if you're, in our case, we're removing this to, remove the condenser fan. And the condenser's still good, so you don't want to ruin the condenser. You got to be careful getting in there because there's not a lot of room to remove the clips. But they're showing you how to remove the clips. Okay, and so what we did is once we removed the clips, you'll see in the next video that we pulled the radiator and the condenser forward, and we were able to slide out the fan. So that'll be the next video. Okay. Come on. Okay, so this is a Honda 2006 Odyssey Honda 2006 with a 3.5 VTEC engine, and what's happened to this is that the AC fan has gone bad. The fan has actually, it's kind of hard to see. Let me see if I can put some light here. The fan has actually come off the spindle there, but the owner said that it was smoking, so we're replacing the whole shroud, this metal, and he happened to buy it. Where'd you get it? O'Reilly's. There it is, right there. Now the book says I happen to have a van exactly like this, and I have the service manual. And it says to drain the radiator and remove the transmission lines. And what we're trying to do is we're going to see, we remove the bracket here that holds the radiator and the bracket here that holds the condenser. So what we're going to do is we're going to hope that this is enough room to get that fan shroud and everything out. And hopefully it'll go well. So I'll be back. Okay, so here's the fan that we pulled out, and as you can see it, I'm not exactly sure how this happened, but it came undone off the center here, and it was touching the radiator, and so the customer said that they had turned on the van and started smoking. Well, it makes sense because the fan stop the motor from spinning. And it is possible to remove the brackets here from the radiator and the condenser, and also loosen the 4 bolts that are holding. There's 2 up here and 2 at the bottom, and you pull this forward and you can pull the fan through there instead of the book says, or the service manual, you got to drain the radiator, you got to disconnect this hose, pull it forward. Actually, they don't even bring it through here. They're suggesting to get rid of the battery, the battery holder and all that, and then you slide the fans out that way. And so I don't know, maybe the engineers never tried this, but you do got to be careful not to break anything. So all right, I'll come back when we have the other one in. Okay, so here we are. We managed to put the fan in there. I'll give you a view from this side. There's the fan. It's in there, and you can get it in through this side without having to drain the radiator and all that. You definitely have to remove this bracket that holds the radiator. So there's one there, and then you remove this bracket which holds the condenser, and there's one there. You know, one on the left, one on the right, and this whole area moves forward. You definitely have to take the tank out first. Now, one issue that we did run into is that this bracket right here where my finger's pointing is a little bit too much to the left. Why? Because if you notice over here, this screw is supposed to go into here, and it doesn't. Let me put some light on there. And it doesn't reach. And that's the only thing, that's the aftermarket thing. We're going to get ready to try it here in just a second, and I'll shoot a video in just a second when we get there. Alrighty, see you in a bit. Okay, go for it. So we're going to start the car here. Alright, go ahead and turn on the air conditioner. See what'll happen here? Cooling at all? Is it coming out cold? Yeah, the fan hasn't turned on. It should have already turned on. Okay, go ahead and turn off the AC. Just turn it off. Let me check. Could be that a solenoid has gone bad. We'll have to check that. Go ahead and just leave the van on, but with the AC off. Okay. So I want to make sure that the actual AC. I'm sorry, that the radiator fan is turning on. I want to make sure that that's turning on.